Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And not with me, as always, I'm buddy, my co-host, my pal, my main man, Greg Albert. This is an emergency podcast coming in on Monday, April 24th, the day which the Lord has made, as Aaron Rodgers is now officially a New York Jet. Welcome to the other side, man. The New York Jets have a legitimate quarterback. Tonight's topics are going to be Aaron Rodgers, and we'll sprinkle a little bit of Connor McGovern. And of course, what we have to talk about the NFL draft here. We have another episode coming up this week as normally scheduled with Greg. Now that we officially, at least for now, know where we are drafting, we as in the New York Jets, we'll be able to kind of have a better idea of maybe where we'll go. But first, man, oh my goodness, wearing the cheese head, rocking the Lambeau Field shirt right here. I love Lambeau Field so much. I love the Green Bay Packers so much. They give us a quarterback every 15 years. The elephant in the room, of course, is draft compensation, right? So let's talk about it. 15 years ago, Brett Favre came here for a conditional fourth round pick. Here for 1 year, really wanted to go to the Minnesota Vikings. We all know how that went. If you want a little bit of a history lesson, as my boy Richie on New York Jets Media was talking about today, he was playing fantastic. I mean, he gave me one of the best games I've ever been to in my entire life. That Cardinals 6 touchdown game, literally, that solidified everything for me. I had season tickets that year. I was in high school. Good times, man. If Aaron Rodgers could even recreate that, and hopefully if he gets injured, he'll tell us and not hide it like the bicep stuff. But even if he replicates that, I mean, it's successful. But anyway, let's talk positive here because as everyone knows, and you can deny it if you want, but right now you'd be a hater if you deny it. The New York Jets are a legitimate contender in the AFC, which means in the NFL, right? The AFC is clearly better than the NFL. We obviously have Kansas City. We have our arch nemesis, Buffalo Bills and New England Patriots in there. New England Patriots we haven't beaten in 14 straight games or so, something like that at the moment. I can't remember. I don't even want to think about it. But it's so funny. We'll get into the draft compensation right here. And what's so funny is the first thing that popped in my head was New England feels like they were involved some way, somehow, into this trade, into screwing over the New York Jets some way, somehow. And here's how it was. One of the the transactions in this full trade is we are swapping with Green Bay. We have the 13th pick, they have the 15th pick in the 2023 draft. We're swapping. Guess who's number 14? Of course, it's the New England Patriots looking for an offensive tackle. I mean, right off the top of my head, I'll tell you right now, the Green Bay Packers are going to draft Najigba, the Ohio State wide receiver, and the New England Patriots are going to draft one of the tackles who are going to be left, probably Skoronski, and will be probably quote unquote stuck with Broderick Jones, which I'm okay with. He's been the one mocked to the Jets this whole time. I think the Jets have a pretty good idea that he'll be there at 15, and that's where we'll go. That's just, rapid reaction. What's going to happen? What's the point of that? It does annoy me that the Patriots are there, even though they suck at drafting. It does annoy me that they're in the middle of this whole thing, as usual. But that's the first parameter of this draft. The second one was, as we all knew, that extra second round pick, we had the 42nd and the 43rd pick, the extra pick we got from Cleveland, where we attached our third round pick, Elijah Moore, gave it to Cleveland, and they gave us a second round pick, which was a consecutive pick. We knew one of those was going to Green Bay. They, in fact, did take it. So we're still drafting in the second round. They took that extra second round pick. We also gave them our sixth round pick and got in return a fifth round pick, a really high fifth round pick, though. Essentially, a bottom 4 pick. And this is not being a Monday morning quarterback, which ironically, we finally got our quarterback on a Monday. Whatever. You're gonna have to deal with the quote unquote dad jokes for now. Uh, Jets fans are living on a different planet right now. Obviously, Knicks right now are going crazy. The Rangers did look good right now. We're in a power play, but down 1-0 real quick to Mr. Jack Hughes. So, there's some kinks in the armor here right now for New York fans, but for the most part, we're riding high right now. And if you're listening to Connor Rodgers, he just came out with this full 300 draft board. He's been talking about how this draft is so deep in the rounds 3 to 5. And that's why he was kind of annoyed that the Jets lost their third round pick in the Elijah Moore deal. And I was kind of talking about that too. And here we are with an extra end of the fourth. So not the third, but they were able to compensate there. As always, we know Joe Douglas is allergic to seventh round picks, but he did give up the sixth. So right now in the 2023 draft, the Jets are looking at the 15th pick, and then the second round, the number 43, the fourth round, and then we got the fourth round pick, 112. We got 143 in the fifth, and then we have 170 in the fifth. So 5 picks, Aaron Rodgers. We lost our 2023 third round pick. We lost Elijah Moore. We lost our 2023 sixth round pick. And of course, we lost next year's first round pick. Don't even talk to me about the condition. Condition of 65% to play. Aaron Rodgers is playing for 65% of the snaps. Let's not even talk about that. That's what we lost. I feel like that's really the big kahuna here. The second round pick is annoying, but the Jets suck at drafting in the second round. Just go look at the history. The first time you probably pop your head up is David Harris, and then Sean Ellis after that. I mean, it's tough. So what does this all mean for the New York Jets? Number one, it means that the New York freaking Jets are a legitimate contender. I could say that. Honestly, I'm not going to stop saying that until, which I think our first game will be, which will be September 11th at Monday Night Football. Which, sidetrack, Mr. Adam Schefter from ESPN, he was so hyped that he was the one that was able to break this news live on air and on Twitter. He also subtly broke his jersey number, the number 8, which is funny because we lost Elijah Moore in this whole ordeal. It was a 3-team trade. It wasn't negotiated like that. And he takes his number 8, his Cal number. He doesn't want Joe Namath's 12. He wants his own legacy. Adam Schefter, the one who Aaron Rodgers explicitly said, in public, I think that stream had almost 500,000 people on the Pat McAfee show, came out and said he doesn't know anything about him. He doesn't talk to him. So that was a nice little victory for him, I'm sure. But at the moment, man, Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets are a legitimate contender in the AFC. I mean, if they're not behind the Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, and you're not putting the Jets there, I mean, that's to be the most objective I could possibly be. If they're not sitting there, you are lying to yourself, man. We have 6 primetime games, apparently, according to Schefter. I think Monday Night Football, 9-11 versus the Giants sounds right. I think we'll end up getting a primetime game in Denver versus Hackett, with Hackett versus old team versus Russell Wilson. I think we'll get the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Of course, we'll get the Patriots. We are playing the Chiefs this year, so I'm sure that'll be a primetime game as well. That's at home, too. Wow, Jets going to be hosting primetime games. Unbelievable. The only primetime game we had last year was versus the Jaguars on a Thursday night in December, and it was pouring rain, just for the record. Absolutely brutal. So, yeah, man, I'm not going to say it was me bringing the vibes going to Green Bay, conquering the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers wearing their anniversary jerseys, getting the cheese head, buying the gear. I'm not going to say I manifested this whole thing, but I'm not going to say I manifested the whole thing. Aaron Rodgers is one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. I've been asking for this trade since November. when he came out on Pat McAfee show, I was elated. So this is more of a come down. It's just like, man, the Jets really going to go to Vegas twice this year? Are they really going to go to Vegas during the regular season and then in the Super Bowl? Is that really going to happen? Is that legitimate? It's crazy to think about. The odds, everyone wants to yell at me about the odds when it's against my New York teams. Everyone's showing me that the Knicks had no chance in this playoffs because they're showing me the championship odds before the playoffs started. Somebody go look at the New York Jets odds. I have them at 3,500, 35 to 1. I think right now it's plus 1,200. We haven't even played a game yet. Everybody is going to be on the New York Jets. Hop on the bandwagon now. It is open. Jets games are finally going to be expensive to go to, which is, good and bad. It's just crazy. It's a weird feeling, honestly. Are we going to host a playoff game? Are the New York Jets about to host a playoff game? Have PSL seats finally come through and meant something? I mean, what a world. What a world. Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet. And you know who else is a New York Jet? I have to bring him up here. And we've been bashing on Connor McGovern all year. He didn't have the best year ever, but the offensive line was extremely banged up. We have Connor McGovern back. We were literally talking about it on last episode. We talked about the swap at 13 to 15 last episode, me, Greg, and I. We talked about getting McGovern so the Jets aren't, stuck in between a rock and a hard place if JMS goes, and we don't want to pick up Tittman, so high in the second because that's the only pick we have until, the fourth. Tittman and JMS being the top two centers, quote unquote, draft consensus up till now. Now the Jets could address what they want to address, especially if we go offensive tackle with the 15th pick. Let's call it Broderick Jones. We'll talk about that more next episode. In the second round, man, I could see us going defensive tackle, not being stuck, having to go with the center. If JMS is there, sure, take him. But if he's not, maybe we can get Jack Campbell. Maybe that becomes an actual real thing. Who knows? Players tend to drop. We're in the top of the second round. Who knows? Does Luke Van Ness get there? Do one of the D tackles get there? It's going to be really interesting, man. It's going to be really interesting. I can't wait to see where the Jets draft players like Dwayne McBride, the running back from UAB, at the end here. But that's, again, some wishful thinking. We'll get to that when we get to that. I can't believe the NFL draft is Thursday. We're drafting 15th behind Green Bay and New England. I'm not going to call Green Bay an arch nemesis, but especially this year, we're going to be seeing who they draft in front of us, and we're going to compare it to our pick for the rest of time, at least past the fifth-year option in the next contract. And also next year, we're going to see who they draft in the first round, who we didn't get. That could have been our pick. Hopefully, it's, of course, in the late part of the first round. Man, the New York Jets have a franchise quarterback. He wears number 8. His name is Aaron Rodgers. Let's go. We're solidified at our tackles, quote unquote, with Mekhi and Dwayne Brown. We got Connor McGovern back. AVT's supposed to be back. Lakin's back. I mean, the boys are back, man. The band is back together. If you didn't like it last year, well, too bad. They're back. Aaron Rodgers is a freaking New York Jet. Do not sit back and say, oh my God, the Jets gave up too much. Too much. If I would have asked you in November, hey man, what would you give up for the Jets to be a contender? You would skip past draft picks, you would skip past cap space, and you would start telling me about like giving up family members. All right, so let's keep it real for a second. Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in the media hype. We switched from 13 to 15. It's fine. We'll just grab. I think it's the worst case scenario, in my opinion, is Najigba and Skoronski go. Only 14 players can be picked up between 1 to 14. Like, I know there's going to be 37 players that all are going to be mocked to go 1 to 14 now in front of the Jets. But the Jets are going to be fine. We'll be able to get Broderick Jones, in my opinion. What? Darnell Wright from Tennessee? That's going to be like the worst case scenario here. I really think it's fine. Second round, back's not against the wall anymore because we finally got McGovern back, probably on a cheap deal. We did have interest in Ben Jones. We probably had a set price. I do see us grabbing a center in this draft at some point. Corey Davis is still on this team though, so I don't know if we actually want Najigba or anything like that in the first round. I don't know if we want another wide receiver. If Corey Davis is still going to be here, he hasn't gone anywhere. He's still here on his contract. You know, the defensive ends it is packed with Jermaine Johnson and Huff and Clemens and Carl Lawson. Maybe they're just going to draft someone, have him hang out. It's going to be really interesting, man. Keep in mind Aaron Rodgers' contract. I waited as long as possible to drop this pod. I was really hoping the Aaron Rodgers contract does come out. Connor Hughes did kind of allude to some. I was just double checking right now before I sign off here to see if he made a note. He alluded to Aaron Rodgers intending to play more than 1 year, which I honestly intend him to. I don't think he's going to come here and be a one and done. There's just no way. He's here for the long haul. His girl lives here. He's still going to own the Milwaukee Bucks. It would be hilarious if the Knicks play the Bucks and he shows up at the Garden, what that reaction is going to be as he's a part owner in the Bucks. Mr. Rodgers, I caution you. If it's the Bucks Knicks next round. Not looking ahead, but I'm not looking ahead. Don't show up at the Garden with your girl rocking your team ownership for the Milwaukee Bucks. Just stay away. But other than that, man, I love Aaron Rodgers. Number 8. I'm hyped. This is our year. This is literally our year. Can you imagine? Just close your eyes for a second and imagine the New York Jets hosting a playoff game, the New York Knicks winning at least one series in the NBA. I'm really thinking they can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but let's whatever. Winning one series, the Rangers advancing in the playoffs as well. They're about to play the Canes. So let's say the Knicks and the Rangers win one series. The Jets are hosting a playoff game. The Yankees and the Mets are in the playoffs. It's a big year for New York sports, man. New York Liberty literally made a super team. Things are looking good. Stay tuned for the Knicks episode. We haven't done a lot of episodes there. We've been trying to transition a little here. It's taking a little bit longer than expected, but I've been at the Garden every single home game in the playoffs. I'll be there for every single home game in the playoffs. It's wild. It is loud. I can't even hear the whistle. We're closing down 7th Ave, as you've heard 100 times. It's so fun out there. I just got my voice back. So I'll be going live again and kind of giving you my thoughts here. Stay tuned for another Jets episode with Greg before the draft. You know what it is. If you're not subscribed to Knicks Comment, Jets Comment, ETC, period, YouTube, we'd appreciate it. Like and subscribe to our video. It helps out a lot. Comment. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers? Man, Aaron Rodgers. Damn. What a world. And yeah, we'll see. You know, we're also on anywhere you hear podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, you name it, we are there. And yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Knicks in the playoffs. Rangers in the playoffs. Let's go, man. Let's go. Jets, Jets. We out.